I was having a routine outpatient surgery on my sinuses. As a child, I had severe nose bleeds and infections. This has plagued me into adulthood. About a month ago, I was sent to have a CT scan done on my sinuses. I met with an ear, nose and throat doctor who showed me the scan. It was diagnosed as a severe deviated septum, thickening of the mucosa lining and totally blocked drainage tubes. Surgery was recommended. I had previously been diagnosed with sleep apnea and had been using a CPAP machine for about 6 months. Editor's note: continuous positive airway pressure used to help a person who has sleep apnea breathe more easily during sleep. On the day of surgery, everything was going fine. The surgery was to take about 1 to 1.5 hours. I remember being rolled back to the room about 8:45 a.m. and telling my husband I loved him. The next thing I remember was dreaming. I somehow knew I was dreaming but thought it strange because I had never had a dream after surgery before. In the dream, I noticed how beautiful the day was. It was sunny blue skies overhead. I remember walking up to a big brick house and there were beautiful flowers all around the front sidewalk. Everything was so colorful and vivid. The front door seemed to be especially illuminated and sparkly. I walked up to the front door and noticed a beautiful terracotta tile design around the wooden door. I reached out my hand to a round metal doorknob to open the door and go inside. There was no fear or sadness. I just knew I wanted to go inside. Just as I touched the doorknob, I heard someone calling my name. They were saying, "Mrs. Barbara, you have to wake up." It was like I was jerked back. I remember opening my eyes and seeing several operating room staff crowding around. I passed out again and awoke again to a doctor giving orders to put different things in my four. I passed out again and woke up again. I saw myself lying on the table with a breathing mask taped down over my mouth. At the time, I thought there must be a mirror over me to see myself. I heard someone say, "She's gone spastic, she's spastic." I wondered whom they were talking about and what that meant. I woke up again to the doctor taking my hand and asking me to squeeze it as hard as I could. I squeezed his hand and he said, "Good, that's good." The next thing I remember was waking up back in my room. They had brought my husband in and the doctor was telling him that I had stopped breathing twice. They couldn't get me to wake up and had to insert another tube to ventilate me. The doctor said they thought they were losing me. About that time, I looked to the wall clock again and saw that it was about 1:30 p.m. The rest of the day was spent getting me stable. My throat was in a lot of pain but they wouldn't give anything because the doctor said they couldn't take the chance of me going to sleep again. I was released later that night about 6:30 p.m. They wanted to keep me but I fought to go home and they relented after several doctors checked me out and said I was stabilized. I had never had any problem with anesthesia before or with waking up from it. No one seems to know what went wrong. I don't know if it had something to do with the sleep apnea or what.